Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to this video titled Mean, Median, Mode, and Range, and you will need to get out your math journal, pencil, and calculator as we're going through this video. Now there are a few different ways to remember these different math terms. First of all, the mean. What that represents is the average. And I would like you to write this down in your math journal. Also, I want you to write down the way to remember this. My parents became mean when they found out about my test average. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at how you find the mean. So basically, the idea with the mean is you want to add all the numbers together. Okay, so that's the first step. You do not have to put these numbers in order at all, so you can just add them all together. And when you add all those numbers together, and you can do that on a calculator, and that's going to give you 881. So that's the first step, add all the numbers together. Now, in order to find the average, what you would want to do, or find the mean, next is to divide by the amount of the amount of numbers that you have. So there are 10 total numbers in this data set. So I take 881 and divide that by 10. And you can use your calculator for this. So we take 881, divide that by 10. Why 10? Because there are 10 total numbers in our data set. And that's going to give us the average of 88 and 1/10 for this data set. So now let's take a look at the next set of numbers that we have, and I would like for you to write this out in your math journal with me. We're going to add these up together. So we take 73 plus 77 plus 85 plus 84 plus 37 plus 115. And you can type that right into your calculator. And when you add all these numbers together, you will get 471. Now that's only the first step. So whenever you try to find the mean, you add all the numbers together and then you divide by the amount of numbers in your data set. So we have 471. We're going to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to divide it by 6, and we can put that right in our calculator. 400. So we have 471, and then we divide that by 6, and that's going to give us 78 and 5/10 for the mean. So we have 78, that would work there, 78 and 5/10 for the mean. So again, to find the mean, add all the numbers in your data set together and then divide by the amount of numbers in your data set. So now the next thing we're going to take a look at is the median. Now the median represents the middle value of an ordered data set. I want you to write that down. And also I want you to write down a way to remember this. So at McDonald's, you can buy a small, medium, or large fry. So median represents the middle. Now, in order to do this, what you have to do is you have to order your data set from least to greatest. So we take a look at these numbers and we'll order them from least to greatest. Now I have my data set in order from least to greatest. Now what I need to do is find the median. So a way that you can do this is you just start crossing out numbers on the left and then crossing out a number on the right. So we have left and then right, left, right, left, right. And now what we have is we have two middle numbers. Now you may not always have two middle numbers. If you have an even amount of numbers, then you'll have two middle. If it's an odd amount of numbers, it's pretty easy. You'll be able to find the median without any problem at all. However, we have two middle numbers here. So what you need to do for the middle numbers is you need to find the median or the average of these two middle numbers. And the way that you do that is you just add these two numbers together. So we take 87 plus 90. That's going to give us 177. That's the first step. Then we're going to take that 177 and then we're going to divide by 2. Then we take 177 divided by 2, and that's going to give us 88 0.5 for the median. So that's how you find the median when you have an even amount of numbers. Now let's take a look at how you find the median when you have an odd amount of numbers. Okay, this is very simple. So still crossing out from left to right, what I did is I just took the 99 off, so now we have 9 numbers. So I'm going to cross out from left to right until I have one number left over. Okay, so now you can see, very easy to see with this data set, because I took one number off. Now we have 9 numbers that we're dealing with. Very easy with that data set. The median is 87, so that's the middle number there. Now the next term we're going to look at is the mode. And I want you to write this down. The mode is the number that occurs most often in a data set. Way to remember this, the MO in mode refers to most often. Now, in order to find the mode, what I do suggest is ordering the numbers from least to greatest, because that will help you see the mode much easier than just looking at a data set and hoping that there aren't any numbers that are repeating themselves that you just miss. So first step, writing the numbers in order from least to greatest. So I wrote my numbers down in order from least to greatest, and you can see that I did cross my numbers off as I'm writing them down, because that's a really good way to make sure you're not missing anything or missing any numbers. So the number that occurs most often, you can see I have 8 that occurs 4 times, 9 occurs twice, 12 occurs twice, but the mode for this set of data is 8. Why is that? Because 8 occurs more often than any other number in the data set. Now we're going to go over some what ifs with mode. So the first set of data, we have the numbers ordered from least to greatest. So now we can see, that just helps us see all the numbers as they're together next to each other. And then we have 2 number 1s and 2 number 9s. And so we have 2 numbers that occur more than any other number. So that means the mode would be 1 and 9 for that set of data. Now our next set of data, we have 1, 8, 11, 13, 16, 24, 33. You can see there's not any number that occurs more than any other number. So with this, we would just say no mode, or there's not a mode for this set of data. The reason for that, there's not any number that occurs more than any other number. So we can see that there is a possibility that there could be more than one mode if there are more numbers occurring more than any other number and it's the same amount. And we can also see that there's a possibility that there's not a mode at all if there's not any number that occurs more than once in a data set. Okay, the final part of this video, we're going to look at the range. And what the range is, that's the distance between the lowest and highest values in the data set. I want you to write that down. And also, a way to remember that, on the range, the cowboy wanted to know the difference between the largest and smallest cow. That's a way to remember the range. So in order to do this, you probably guessed it, I do want you to write down the numbers in order from least to greatest. The reason for that, it helps you make sure that you know which number is least, which number is greatest. If you look at a data set like we have right on the screen here, it can be very easy to miss the least number. So write the numbers in order from least to greatest, and then we'll go from there. Now we have all of our numbers written out, and again, you can see how I crossed out each number. That just helps you make sure you know you've listed all the numbers. So what we do is we have the least and greatest numbers, and what we're doing is we're finding the difference between the greatest and least number. So we can use our calculators for this. We're going to take 99 and subtract 77. And we can see the range is 22 for that top data set. So again, take the greatest and least number, subtract those two from each other, and that's how you find the range. Now let's take a look at the bottom data set. Again, writing the numbers in order from least to greatest. And again, that helps us see the least and greatest numbers pretty easily now. So we have 37 as the least, 115 is the greatest number. And then what we do, we take 115, do this right on your calculator, and subtract 37. And that gives you 78, and that is the range of this data set. So that concludes the video on mean, median, mode, and range. If you have any questions about this concept, please come and see me.